So stepping in, Joey Kalura. He's in center field. Robert Moore is in their maroon uniforms. Herman is ready, sets, and fires that first one right down the middle, strike one. There goes the runner's base hit into left field. I should clear the bases. Lange coming, and it will stop Zelenica over at third base. So a two-run single with 2 outs, and the base is loaded for freshman Eric Lange, and Wabash leads 2-0. Got a fastball belt high inside and took it to left field. What a great hit there by Eric Lange. And now that brings in Tyler Downing, who also doubled. He doubled last game. Here it is. I roped that one. Zelenica leaped, but has just passed his outstretched glove into left field, a base hit. So Nick Grupa is on with a leadoff single, and that brings in the big man, Nick Marzano, the DH. Yeah, he is. The pitch, swing and a miss. KJ is down on strikes. Wabash scores 3 runs in the second inning. 3 runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left on base. They lead at 5-0. Brock will tell you about the third when we come back. This is Wabash Baseball on WNDY. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Ball game is over. Wabash wins it 17-1.
Good day. Good day.
2 wins today. They'll play 2 more tomorrow against Robert Morris. We're back after this to wrap it up. This is Wabash Baseball on WNDY. Jensen Kurtz will be on the mound to start game 1. He's junior right-hander, 1.52 ERA, 4-1 on the year. He started 7 games, has appeared in 8. Has tossed 4 complete games in 51 of the third innings. Has only walked 8 guys. Opponents bat .249 against him. The battery today, Andrew Rodzinski and Jensen Kurtz. Jensen having himself really a fantastic year. So here we go. Colin Antoine steps in. He bats left-handed. He's a sophomore. He's playing second base today. Wiggles the bat over his shoulder. He's going to lay down a bunt on the first pitch, and it rolls foul. 0-1. McMurray College in their blue uniforms with red trim, red numerals, red batting helmets. Wabash in their home white uniforms, the V-necks with the white and red trim and gray trim, and their name on the back. Kurtz goes through his windup and throws home, and that one is outside. 1-1. One of the nicest days we've had outside playing baseball is that pitch misses. Wow, low, 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike to Colin Antoine. The pitch, swing, and that one sliced foul over near the bullpen on the left side and out of play. Around the outfield for Wabash, Cantor in left, Downing in center, and Rodzinski in right. As Kurtz fires home, swinging a ground ball, just foul past first base. Colin Antoine putting up a nice at-bat here, giving his guys a lot of pitches to see off of Jensen. Zelenica is at third today, Chavez at short, Harlicker at second, and David Oliger at first. Jensen rocks, fire, swing, and a high bouncer to second base. Harlicker comes in, throwing on the run. He's safe at first base. So Colin Antoine legs out an infield single to start game 1 here at Goodrich Ballpark. That brings up Wabash's leading hitter, David Oliger. Senior bats .443. He's played in all 24 games. 26 RBIs, a triple, a home run, 16 doubles. Slugging percentage of .660. Not a guy who strikes out very often, though. Nobody out, runners at first and second. Bottom half of the inning, and we got a balk. A balk is called on Dylan Hodges. That moves the runners to second and third. Wow. The pitch from Hodges, curveball. That didn't break at all. That's high, 1-0. So 2 walks here in the home half of the first inning. Wabash knocking on the door. Hodges is set. The pitch to Oliger. Swing, and that one's fouled off the screen. 1-1. Here's the pitch from Hodges, and that one's inside. 2-1. Runners at second and third. Third baseman Pesco plays even with the bag. And the pitch. Swinging a line drive into center field. On comes the center fielder. It drops. Sean Roginski had to hold to make sure that ball was going to get down, but it's an RBI single for David Oliger. Jarrett Wolf moves to third, and Wabash is on the board with their first run of the game. So here's KJ, the third baseman today. KJ, another senior who started all 24 games. Trying to get 2 guys in here. The pitch, outside and low, 1-0.
Zelenica really doing a better job of hitting here of late. I know early in the season he was really struggling around the Mendoza line. He's finally brought it up to 264, so let's hope he can continue his hot streak here.
KJ's got 12 RBIs. He looks to strike there. 4 doubles. He's slugging .308. Bats from the right side. The pitch from Hodges. Swing and a miss. 1-2. That pitch was up near his chin.
Can't help a struggling pitcher in this situation by swinging ones up in the zone like that.
Nope. Hodges is pretty wild right now. Here's the pitch. Curveball, and it hit him.
Point proven there, Clayton. Next pitch, bonks him with it.
You speak the truth, Shane.
No, I tried to. Clayton, I tried to.
So here's Andrew Roginski. He's the catcher today. 283 hitter. 1 home run on the season, 3 doubles, 10 RBI. He wears number 3 on his white V-neck jersey. A couple of fans out in left field on the hill. They did get the batter's eye fixed, though. Out in center, as that one is bounced fair right inside the bag. That will score 2. It goes all the way to the wall out in left field. Here comes KJ around from first. He's in there. A 3-run double for Andrew Roginski. 4-1, Wabash leads. All right, so Cole Harlacher steps in.
Next up for the Little Giants, the second baseman, number 9, Cole Harlacher.
He's the second baseman today, and nobody out. Bases are loaded. A run was walked in by Hodges. He leaves. These are all 3 of his runners on the bags. He could be on the hook for 8 runs if they all come in. Harlacher watches a ball outside. Trevor Knipe. There's a strike. 1-1.
Score that one up next time. Let's go.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a ground ball. This could be trouble. Third baseman Gloves is out at second and out at first. It's a double play. A 5-4-3 double play for McMurray. A nice turn there. But a run does come home to score. It's now 6-1. Harris today 1 for 3. Big right-hander. Waves the bat low. Here's the pitch from Glaze. Swing and a miss. 0-2, and now the Wabash dugout can start to taste this win here.
Harris is trying to hit a 5-run home run up there, it looks like.
Glaze is set. Deals home. Swinging a ground ball to third. This could do it. KJ on to second, and Wabash wins game 1. Final score, Little Giants 7, McMurray 3. We'll have game 2 for you in about a half hour, is typically what we do here. Right here on WNDY Wabash TV. Final score, 7-3. Wabash wins game 1. Jensen Kirch, your game 1 winner, and Dylan Hodges takes the loss from McMurray. Shane Beeman and I will be back with game 2 in just a little bit. You see head coach Kyle Brummett there. The one thing he needs to look at are turnovers. Turnovers have played a key in many of his losses this year, and that comes from the guard play, and he's trying to limit those tonight.
Absolutely, Clayton. This past weekend in an 80-75 loss to Kenyon, Wabash lost the turnover margin by -10. They had 17 turnovers, Kenyon had 7. And they've got to get guys, they've got to get the guards like Duncan Roy and Johnny Jager and Austin Burton, not just to take care of the ball, but to also hit shots from the outside. They've got to bury threes tonight, Clayton, if Wabash is going to be able to open up the inside for guys like Frank and Camrath and the big man, Dan Pavlisis.
DePaul has their own big man. Jack Vandermerk as well as Luke Latner both have been very good this year. Vandermerk on the boards and Latner scoring the ball.
Exactly. Vandermerk's going to be a key player tonight for the DePaul Tigers. He's the big man. He goes from low post to low post, doing a little bit of work inside. Doesn't score as much, but is huge off of the glass. That's going to be a big thing for Wabash, keeping guys like Camrath and Evan Frank out of foul trouble, keeping them on the floor so they can have Wabash can have the size down low to counteract Vandermerk.
I had a chance to sit down with head coach Kyle Brummett earlier this week, and here were his thoughts. Coach, big night tonight. You have DePaul coming to Chadwick Court. A lot of excitement around this game, always has been. Chadwick's always been completely full. You got to be ready for this one.
Yeah.
Let's talk about last Saturday. You played Kenyon here at Chadwick Court with an 80-75 loss. Really close game, back and forth there in the final few minutes. But a few things that stuck out. One was turnovers. The second was free throws, and that's something that you have harped on the team about. Wabash head coach Kyle Brummett here on the pregame show. Let's take a break. We're back with more pregame right after this. Welcome back to Chadwick Court. My partner Derek Andre and myself, Clayton Randolph, here to call this game tonight. Derek, we talked earlier in the pregame. You heard Coach mention it too. Turnovers and free throw shooting are going to be keys tonight to a Wabash victory.
Absolutely. It's been the same way all season long. Wabash can't lose the turnover margin. They can't make these freshman mistakes, but they've also got to hit the free throws. They're not the strongest team from the line, but they're going to need to cash in from those opportunities. It's going to be a tight game tonight. You know that anytime you're playing in a rivalry game like this, so you've got to get points whenever you can.
Let's talk about the atmosphere, too, because that's going to be big. Always when DePaul comes to town, it's loud. There's a lot of people here, and Coach actually hit on it in the pregame show that that could affect the way he calls the game and the way his guys play.
Absolutely. You know, whenever you're playing in this type of rivalry game, it's like all the football players say with the Monon Bell game, or the soccer players say whenever they play DePaul, or whatever sport you want to talk about. The game is different, and it's especially true for basketball. The fans are so close to the court. This gym, Chadwick can get loud. It can rock in here. We have headsets set up for our stats crew because it's going to get so loud in here, and that's going to change the way that these players are going to react out there on the floor tonight.
Wabash and DePaul. We're about 8 minutes from tip-off. Let's take another break. We'll come back with our starting lineup and keys to the game right here on Wabash TV, presented by the Wabash College Media Center team. Here's a three by Vogel. That's good. The left-hander right over Duncan Roy. Inside, Evan Frank guarded by freshman John Starkey. Freshman against freshman. Miss. Put back is good, though. Evan Frank. Here's another three. Vogel puts the Tigers up. Here's Pavlisis with the right hand. Now you need a bucket. 12 minutes, 15 seconds remain. Jager from 15. That's good!
He's fired up, isn't he? Oh, my.
Timeout, DePaul. McMahon finds Jager, flips it up from 10. Good! McMahon from 18. That's good! From Neal Fieldhouse on the campus of DePaul University, Wabash and DePaul set to meet again for the second time this season. Wabash beat DePaul 80-75 earlier this year. Our pregame show is coming up next with Derek Andre, Shane Beeman, and myself, Clayton Randolph. Right after this, you're listening to Wabash Basketball, 91.3 FM, WNDY. Back here at Neal Fieldhouse with Shane Beeman, our engineer and halftime show coordinator, and Derek Andre, our analyst tonight. I'm Clayton Randolph. About 15 minutes before we tip off here at Neal Fieldhouse. Wabash and DePaul set to meet again. Second game they faced each other this year. Wabash won earlier, 80-75, Derek, and that was a game where Wabash really turned it on late. They had 4 of their starters step up big. Johnny Jager had 31 points. Duncan Roy had 9. Daniel Pavlisis had 14. Austin Burton had 12. And everybody shot really well. About 13 minutes and 45 seconds to tip off here at Neal Fieldhouse. Derek, this was, you talk about guys stepping up. And Wabash has certainly had those guys step up in terms of C.J. McMahon. Ben Stokowski has. Logan White off of the bench has been really good. Without those guys, though, Wabash is not in the position they are this evening. All right, we come back. Head coach Kyle Brummett will join us here on the pregame show. We're from Neal Fieldhouse, Wabash in Nepal. Tip-off is just a few minutes away. Coach Brummett's with us right after this. This is Wabash basketball on WNDY. All right, DePaul, white uniforms, black numerals, gold trim. Wabash in the road red with white numerals and white trim. Here we go. Tip is won by Wabash, and we are underway. This is Pavlisis on the left wing. Wabash works it around. Jager back to Burton, top of the key. Over to Roy. Burton gets a high ball screen, turns the corner, dribbling in, shoots it. It was partially blocked, and it goes out of bounds. It'll stay with Wabash. That was Chris Burrow that got a hand on it.
It's one thing we've seen out of Burton a lot more this year. Used to be, for the first 3 years of his college career, he was much more of a spot-up shooter. He's been very willing to go to the basket this year.
Here's Jager turning the corner, and the ball was tipped, and it was knocked around and loose, and that was Nate John who gets the steal, and he's quickly down the floor the other way. Nice Wabash crowd on hand for this Wednesday night ball game against the biggest rival we have, and there's a layup missed. We have a foul call.
Speaking of Nate John, Clayton, he's another guy Wabash needs to keep off the three-point line. He's shooting 41% on the season. So apart from Latner, he's another guy they need to push off the three-point line.
Daniel Pavlisis picks up his first foul.
The DePaul team as a whole shooting about 37% from behind the arc. Not a bad statistic if you're a DePaul fan.
Burrow makes the first. 1-0 our score. 19 minutes and 17 seconds into this ball game. Second one from Burrow is good. 2-0 our score. Here's Jager between the circles, over to Burton. Inside Frank, guarded by Burrow. Frank nearly had turned it over again. Here's Roy, drilling on the right side, back over to Johnny Jager. 13 on the shot clock. Jager guarded by Nate John. Inside, and that pass is thrown away. 2 turnovers for Wabash on back-to-back possessions.
Wabash averaging about 16 turnovers a game. That's not a positive number. They're losing the turnover margin by over 4 a game to their opponents as well.
So here comes Nate John. He handles the basketball. Here's a high ball screen from Burrow. Burrow guarded by Austin Burton. DePaul works it around the outside. John has it. Here's Luke Latner. Back to Vandermerg. Latner off a screen. Pull up from 15. That's good. 4-0. DePaul leads Wabash here early. This is Jager on the left side. Guarded by John. John forces him left. Now Roy has it. DePaul really playing in-your-face defense right now. Burton, high ball screen. Backs it back out. 13 on the shot clock. Inside, Evan Frank. Frank battling. Up, under, was fouled. He'll go to the line. Chris Burrow will be called for the foul. Shane Beeman, Derek Andre, and Clayton Randolph up here high above the court at the Lilly Center. There's a 3. That's good. Chris Burrow. 26-24 now. There's Jager up the floor. Crosses the timeline, guarded by Mason Hankins. Gets a ball screen from Camrath, and we have an illegal screen on Camrath. That's his second foul.
Second foul in as many minutes as well.
Got him for leaning out. I thought when he said that, he just kind of leans a little bit into the defense. You can't do that.
Marks is a big guy, and he's also certainly not athletic, but he's a gangly guy. You know, he looks like he's all over the place, and that
hurts him, at least I think, when it comes to foul department.
Burrow hands it off to Latner again. Latner stuck in the lane. Gets the ball back. You can tell Luke wants it every time. 13 seconds on the shot clock. NBA three. Bullseye! Luke Latner. And DePaul regains the lead, 27-26.
Latner's DePaul's best player. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Well, that was a pretty tough shot, though. You got to tip your cap to Latner on that shot.
Jaeger pulls up. No good. Rebound to DePaul. Here we go again. This is Latner quickly down the floor. Nearly walked. I think he held his pivot foot there. I don't think he walked. Here's Mason Hankins down the lane and scores.
Nothing on the help side there to cover up the backside of the lane. Perth tried to get over, tried to go up for the block, but it was just too late.
Here's Austin Burton inside and a foul. It's called on Forrest Nettles, a 6'6" sophomore forward from Pacific, Missouri.
That's only the third foul on the Tigers. Wabash already up to 7.
Comes more DePaul students. Jaeger will inbound. He flips it up high to Pavlidis. Back out, Burton for three. Bullseye!
Punch, counter punch. It's like a heavyweight fight every time these teams take each other on.
29-29, under 8 minutes to play. Latner over to Hankins. Back to Latner. He's guarded by Duncan Roy. You can hear the Wabash student section yelling loud. Latner down the lane, stops, turnaround, up, under, it was fouled, count it! Oh, another circus shot by Lucas Latner, and all Daniel Pavlidis can do is smile.
He is, you know, as good as Dan is, for the first 12 minutes of this game, Luke Latner has been the best player on that basketball court. He's done things that I didn't think were possible for a Division III basketball player.
He was falling to the ground and just flipped that one up.
I mean, this has been, it's been a show. It's been fun to watch.
Not even sure he had his eyes open on that one, Clayton.
32-29 completes the three-point play. DePaul leads by 3. 7:35 to play here in the first half. Jaeger back to Roy. Top of the key. Duncan probably had a shot there if he wanted it. 50 on the shot clock. Burton down the lane. Flips it up high. No good. Tipped around. Rebound to Mason Hankins. Up the floor quickly. Latner. NBA 3. That's good.
Wow.
Tukowski, step back, 18-footer, that's nothing but air. Rebound, Evan Frank, and he goes up and scores. Forrest Nettles was boxing him out. Probably could have been a foul called there. Evan Frank lays it in, 40-31. Hey, thank you, Jim and Steve. Coach, another fantastic victory this afternoon. Talk a little bit about that for us.
Yeah, obviously, I felt like we played well. Obviously, to get a shutout, defense has to play outstanding, and offensively, I felt like we moved the ball well and running and throwing, and had little things. Had some penalties on offense that killed some drives, and we had a few drop balls today too. But other than that, real happy offensively and defensively.
How big of a factor does the weather play into a game like this?
It was more wind than what we've played in so far. So. I think that probably had more of an effect on the kicking game than anything else. I thought Connor handled the wind, was pretty accurate with his throws. So I don't think the ball got too slick, but so I didn't think the weather was too big of an issue.
Mason had a really good game, over 100 yards today after sitting out most of last week. His performance helped you get 38 points tonight.
Yeah, obviously after last week, we were happy to have Mason back. He got to a little slow start there, fumbled early, that first drive, but from that point on, I thought he ran really hard and made guys miss, broke some tackles. So I thought he had really good game.
You held the Terriers to under 100 yards throwing and under 50 yards, I believe, rushing. Is this defense one of the best you've coached?
Obviously we've only played 4 games, but through 4 games, they've done a great job against the run. And anytime you can do that, just it makes it difficult on offense when you can't run the football, and so we've played good run defense, and then we've gotten pressure on the quarterback, and that's a pretty good combination.
Coach, thanks, and fantastic win today.
Thank you.
Jim and Steve, we're off to Oberlin next week, and it should be another fun one for the Little Giants. Back to you guys.
I'm here with NCAA President Dr. Mark Emmert, and President Emmert, thanks for coming on campus. What makes Division III athletics special?
Well, I think it's what we're doing right now. It's the personal nature of it. These are real student athletes that everybody in the stands know them from the classroom, from other activities on campus. It has a much more familial feel to it, and it's every bit as competitive, every bit as hardly played as everything else that goes on in college sports. It's just a lot more personal.
How much do you enjoy going to different campuses around the country and interacting with student athletes?
Oh, it's what's most important to me. I spent all my life on campuses until I took this job, and I love being with student athletes and talking to them, knowing their stories, and finding ways that we can help them.
President, thank you for being on campus today, and it's been a great weekend.
My pleasure. It's been a great game so far.
President Mark Emmert.